Welcome to the news, everybody. If you're new, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Go ahead and smash that like button and maybe hit subscribe. If you're excited to talk about some recent Hollywood drama that I'm sure many of you have already heard about. It involves an actor by the name of Armie Hammer and his rather interesting nightlife. He has quite the appetite, really. At first, I wasn't really sure what this whole issue or controversy was really about. He immediately started dropping out of TV shows, a couple movies, I think, but he was definitely dropping out of gigs that he had coming his way. And at first, I was kind of, like I said, I was kind of confused. I wasn't really sure what the topic of discussion was, because when it first came out, probably like mid-January, people were just kind of making jokes about it, doing bits, and I was like, what's really going on here? Is this actually just some stupid Hollywood drama, like something I shouldn't give a shit about, or nobody should give a shit about? Like, he's just a weird, kinky guy. Whatever. Foot fetish taken a little too far. And even foot fetishes are weird, so it's really weird to be a fucking cannibal. Anyways, here are the first screenshots that we have of this whole controversy. And God, they're so weird. Oh my God, that just made me so hard. And it makes me confused as to why. Is that even possible? So hard thinking of holding your heart in my hand and controlling when it beats. I am 100% a cannibal. I want to eat you. Fuck. That's crazy to admit. I've never admitted that before. It took a lot of courage. I've cut the heart out of a living animal before and eaten it while still warm. What a flex, man. He's a true fucking pioneer, true mountain man. Yeah, I've cut the heart out of an animal before and just like had it right there. I ate it immediately. It was still warm, blood was just dripping down my hand. It was pretty cool. It kind of turned me on a bit, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that's odd. Imagine if this is just the first DM that Armie Hammer just pulls up in your DMs and he's like, "Hey baby, do you mind if I cut your heart out and beat it for you? I like want to control you, You're just so gorgeous, man. You're just so beautiful. I want to eat you. I want to fucking eat you." Oh, like, stop it. That's a little weird thing to say. Like, no, I want to fucking eat you. Like, let's do this. How do I prove my love to you? There's no other way than just ripping your heart out. That's the purest form of love I can think of. It's like when Van Gogh cut off his ear and sent it to his lover. Not really a lover, more probably someone he was stalking. But Armie Hammer just like built up on that. He's like, Van Gogh brought like weird kinky things to do that you shouldn't do, and Armie Hammer was like, let's do this. Here's another one. You just live to obey and be my slave. I will own you. That's my soul, my brain, my spirit, my body. Would you come and be my property till you die? If I wanted to cut off one of your toes and keep it with me in my pocket so I always had a piece of you in my possession. The last tweet seems like it really wasn't a part of the first bit there. I wonder if that was Armie Hammer double texting. He goes, "Would you come and be my property till you die?" And he's like, shit, she didn't reply. Like, how do I get her to reply? And he's like, hey, if I wanted to cut off one of your toes so I could just like have a piece of you with me all the time, how would you feel about that? Would you be down? It's only a toe. Like, you don't really need it. It's not that big of a deal. It's hard to tell, like, is this just like actually his kink? Like, is this just him fucking like, how people are into choking or whatever? Like, is this Armie Hammer's choking? To him, this is just a simple little stepbrother, stepsister born or something. Although that's kind of a little weird too. Do we just not have the right outlook, on sex? Is Armie Hammer just a level above us in terms of connecting with people? Has he really broken through societal norms and just figured out how to be free? I decide when you eat, when you sleep, when you, I don't know what that is. Why did they clip that out? When you use the bathroom, everything. Promise you don't get to think about anything except doing what I say. People are into weird shit, like domination. But is she into it? I don't, cause that's when it becomes an issue, obviously. How are people even into this kind of shit, though? I guess these tweets then alone, or DMs, aren't the worst, but it's what happened afterwards that is not good, because it's come out that it was kind of just one way. And I mean, how can these sorts of messages not be one way? He's just talking about like fucking eating you. I read an interesting article on the Rolling Stone, and they actually interviewed like a sex worker, which I thought was cool to talk about this issue. Kind of weird though, that you gotta call in a sex worker to figure out what's going on, because people are into so many weird things. The person they interview says, at first Empress Wu says she was relatively unperturbed by the alleged Armie Hammer sex. They seem pretty typically male dommy, if not a slight bit extreme. For what it's worth, Hammer has talked openly about his fondness for kink in a 2013 Playboy interview, and was busted for liking a rope play tweet in 2017. It was when she delved further into them that she started to see some red flags. In one message, after the recipient says that having a belt around her neck during sex is too much. Yeah, I think it would be. And the really strange thing is, though, that there are people that are into it. It's like, for sure, dude, definitely. Fucking put that belt right around me. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, could you pull it tighter? Awesome. I think you might just want to kill yourself. On with the article. That's an awful thing to say. Having a belt around her neck during sex is too much. Yeah, that's the way I like it. And another referring to a prior sexual encounter. A woman says, I did truly want to stop for most of the time. That's pretty explicitly a consent violation, and that's the core of the issues, she says. It doesn't matter what fetish it was, that's irrelevant. Yeah, obviously. But when there's a boundary violation, that is something that should always be paid attention to. And then there's also been claims that he grooms the women in his life. He kind of captivates you, and while being charming, he's grooming you for these things that are darker and heavier and consuming. Her ex-girlfriend, Courtney V, who dated Hammer from June to August, told Page 6, in addition to saying Hammer wanted to barbecue and eat her, he also said to her, his ex-girlfriend, I want to take a bite of you. If I had a little cut on my hand, he would like to suck it or lick it. That's about as weird as we got. And to me, that's very weird. Ew. Ugh. He likes the idea of skin in his teeth, she claims. That's disgusting. Bruh, I have to floss after eating corn. I mean, who doesn't? But this guy's like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna leave it. I love the feeling of skin, human flesh between my teeth. It's just like, it's like massaging them. It's still hard to tell what is going to become of this issue, because to me it does still seem like people are just clowning on it, and I still really don't know what's going on. Like, is he going to be accused of sexual harassment, assault? Like, I don't know. They still, I feel like right now, are only at the level of rumors, and it's obviously growing, and I would like to see what will become of it. And this broke very recently. Marilyn Manson was also accused of more along the lines of physical abuse, grooming, I believe sexual misconduct. Nothing good is what he was accused of. The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I am done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I am here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent. That is awful, as I thought it was going to be. Her relationship with Manson became public in 2007 when she was 19 and he was 38. That's quite the age gap. Manson posted something on his Instagram. Obviously, my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past, that is the truth. I hate to say this, but he does have a point, you know? Like, why now are all these people finally coming forward? It happens after the Armie Hammer thing, And is it because of the Armie Hammer thing that they're influenced to finally come out and be like, hey, this guy is awful? But there have also been many cases where people just politicize an issue you really shouldn't. You shouldn't lie about assault, or you shouldn't lie about assault or rape or anything like that to get something you want. And there are cases where that does happen. However, we know that's not always the case, clearly. It's just unfortunate that, like, because there's gonna be such a strong divide now. His fans are gonna be like, no, yeah, dude, she's definitely a fucking liar, bro. Like, all these women, bro, they're just coming out and trying to make money. And all these girls who were probably most likely not lying about these, like, traumatic experiences just, like, have to go through people just, like, roasting them and, I don't know, bullying them and shit. Because there are many people who have, again, like I said, who have lied. And it's just like, why can't people just not lie? It's not that hard to do, because now we would just be figuring out, like, yo, let's figure out how to put Manson behind bars. But now it's like, well, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but weird times, okay? I guess telling the truth means nothing today, I suppose, is what I was trying to say. Several other women have also accused Mr. Manson of having abused them. In 2018, the actress Charlene Yee accused Mr. Manson of harassment. Oh, this happened in 2018. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. The actress Charlene Yee accused Mr. Manson of harassment in a series of tweets that have since been deleted. In September 2020, Dan Cleary, who said that he had worked as an assistant to Mr. Manson for several years, wrote on Twitter that he had witnessed the singer being abusive. All this is pretty compelling part. The time frames are kind of interesting. I don't know. Yeah, why would his assistant, who probably has a relationship with Manson if he's been his assistant for several years, lie about the singer being about Manson being abusive? Loma Vista, however you say it, the label that released Marilyn Manson's latest recording, said Monday it would stop promoting it and would not work with him in the future. This is very disturbing. Quote she's about to say, and just this little blurb. Miss Wood, who supported a California law that extended the statute of limitations on domestic abuse, testified before the state Senate in 2019 that a man whom she did not identify by name had groomed her when she was 18. She's obviously testifying about Marilyn Manson, and they didn't go public until she was 19. She's so young. Like, that's 40 years old and an 18-year-old, or when they did go public when she was 19. That's a kind of a fucked up age gap. As a 40-year-old man, dude, you're gonna have a lot of experience in life. You're gonna understand how things work, and it's really not gonna be that hard for you to, like, manipulate someone who just got out of high school. When you have a bunch of fucking money, you're extremely famous. And I guess to play the devil's no, I don't want to play the devil's advocate in this instance. Again, more will come out. But in both of these instances with Armie Hammer and Marilyn Manson, it doesn't seem that shady. As in, like, I definitely feel like these women are telling the truth. This seems kind of cut and dry. He cut me off from my close friends and family one by one by exhibiting rage in some form or another when I was in contact with them. She said in her testimony he had bouts of extreme jealousy, which would often result in him wrecking our home, cornering me in her room, and threatening me. She said that she felt terrified for her life and that he broke her down through starvation and sleep deprivation. The fuck? Jesus. That's horrible. And by threatening to kill her. In one instance, he forced her to kneel in their bedroom, tied up her hands and feet, beat her and shocked sensitive parts of her body with a device called a violent wand. Jesus Christ, dude. This is awful. Yeah, goddamn. I don't know what to say here, but this is not good. This is horrible. And I mean, how long did this go on for? When she tried to leave him, he would call her house incessantly. Mr. Manson told Spin Magazine in 2009 that he had called Miss Wood 158 times one day after a breakup. Jeez, dude. Mellow out, man. I have fantasies every day about smashing her skull in with a sledgehammer. Why did he say that on the record? Even if he didn't say that on the record, why would he ever say that at all in public? But I guess you have to say things like that so you can finally get caught. It's just a shame it doesn't happen sooner. And his representative said last year in response to questions by Metal Hammer, a music magazine, that Mr. Manson's comment and spin was obviously a theatrical rock star interview promoting a new record, which to a degree, Manson is obviously playing a character. He's just filling a role, being somebody he wants to be, yada, yada, yada. But even if you're just trying to be a theatrical rock star, why do you say, yo, bro, I kind of have fantasies every day about smashing her skull in with a sledgehammer? I don't think Mick Jagger ever said anything like that. Could be a little more eloquent. I don't know. How do you feel about love? Well, I don't know. Most of the time, I kind of want to smash her head in with a sledgehammer. That's how I feel about love, man. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, he said in another interview for this magazine called Dazed, girls should always present themselves when you come home. Hi, honey. I'm home. And she's wearing lingerie. Legs akimbo. Come and get it, honey. I mean, he's out here getting the goddamn bread. Clearly, that's all women are good for. If you're not home, if I come home and dinner's not cooked, there's not a beer ready, you're not freshened up with makeup on, get the fuck out. Why are we even together? This is not a time to crack jokes, because this is obviously a serious issue, and I do hope Armie Hammer and Marilyn Manson get what is coming to them if these accusations prove to be true. And if they do, I don't know, maybe let's put these two guys in a room together and see what happens. That's all for today. If you liked this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.